Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm very excited to be sharing with you something slightly different. I figured that I would do a little bit of a monthly fashion roundup, so where I would be able to share with you what pieces I've been able to see already in stores or online that I really personally love and have already perhaps added to my wish list, or I've already started thinking about it, and I can share with you what thoughts are going through my head, because I initially actually wanted to share a come shopping with me, and although I did see some of these in store, the majority of stores right now are 50-50, where you have some of the initial launches for the spring summer collections, and then 50% of the store is all sales. If I am going to shop sales, I personally prefer to do so online, just because I can have a look at my closet, see what's there, and make sure I'm not buying things I don't want. I just felt like there wasn't enough of the new spring summer collections out for me to film a come shopping with me, and so instead I figured I would share with you more of a fashion roundup, you know, what pieces I'm loving, but also what pieces are about to launch, because I have been able to see a lot of these and place pre-orders, had a look at line sheets, lookbooks, you know, campaigns for what's coming up. So as much as possible, I'm going to share with you what's about to launch without breaching any privacy. So these are pieces that you probably would have seen anyways during when I went to Paris Fashion Week. That's in the France Diaries vlog, which is 1 hour and 25 minutes. It's definitely on the longer side. That vlog is not just Paris Fashion Week, it's also things to do with the wine world, art world, Epernay and Champagne, and then Monaco, south of France, Paris. So there's a lot in that video, but nearer to the end of the vlog, I did take you to Paris Fashion Week, so you would have seen a lot of these pieces already, some of which I have my hands on. So I will share with you, in particular, one piece which was delayed in production, so I'll give you an update as well as to what's happening with that piece, when it's launching, why it was slightly delayed, etc. And then I'll also share any pieces that are being discontinued in case you had your eyes on them, just so that you kind of know if you really want it, now is the time to look for it because it's being discontinued. Any brands that are now coming back in business after new ownership, and maybe I would consider doing these every month if you're interested, just so that you can basically have a video where you can get all the insights with regards to the brands that I really enjoy. Obviously, I'm not going to mention every single fashion house or fashion brand. It's really only the ones that I personally already have, you know, a passion for, that I personally like within my own style. But with that being said, I do just want to get on into this video. You probably would have seen some of the pieces already, especially the one I'm about to show you over on Instagram. So as always, I will leave my Instagram and my TikTok on the screen now, and also in the description box of the video, alongside my 2 Substacks, any other social media platforms that you can find me on. With that being said, I do just want to get straight on into this video. Okay, so I have written some notes here just so that I can remember all the pieces that I want to share with you, because I am going to split this video up into little chapters. So at the bottom, you can kind of press whichever one you want to watch first, or you can just watch it through normally. But I am going to start off with what's new and what I'm currently loving online or in stores. Some of these pieces I've already picked up, you maybe already saw them on Instagram, but if not, these are pieces that I am definitely considering. I'm going to start with Massimo Dutti. I have first this navy blue camisole top with lace. I did end up picking up because it matched so well with my COS navy blue trousers, and it looked perfect as a set, but then it also works so well with dark blue denim jeans, which I also tried on whilst I was in Massimo Dutti, and I can leave them linked because I know a lot of the times when I find jeans that I really like, I get asked quite a few questions about them, but I already have mine from Styling, which for me are my signature pair, so I didn't feel the need to add a new pair into my collection. The next piece is something that's very much in line with my style. It's a short V neckline dress with tie detail. Sorry that I'm reading off here, I just want to make sure that I get it properly, so that if you've got me playing in the background and you quickly want to search these up, you know what they're called. But this one is from the Studio collection, and I really love this. It's like a textured, sort of looks like boucle tweed, but it's just wonderful. It's quite long. I think it would be perfect as a longer sort of top as opposed to a dress, but I think it could work in both ways, and I just think it's quite simple. Of course, it works with so much of what I already have, and I like to bring in things that oftentimes you would reserve for evening wear into my everyday style. I love the sharp lines and everything, and so this to me I really like, and I will leave a picture up on the screen. And then I also had a look at some shoes from Massimo Dutti in store, and they have 2 styles of mock croc effect embossed loafers. I think I have a video of both of them on the screen so you can kind of see the differentiation, but I do like these, and I often get questions about shoes. Actually, something that I've had questions before. I tend to have a selection of shoes that I consistently go for. The only thing that changes it is the season that we're in. For example, spring, summer comes around, I bring out my Oran sandals, and I've had them for quite a few years now, but they just work, so I don't really feel the need to replace them for anything. Another thing that I spotted is actually from the men's section in COS. It's a Weekender oversized tote. I just wish that this was a tiny bit smaller. Already with the fact that it's men's, it tends to be larger anyways, and so if it says that it's oversized and men's, it's probably just going to be a little bit disproportional. I just think this would be so perfect for traveling with. I did see that they made this in a smaller version, but at the moment it's only in navy blue and black, I believe. This one in the beige, I just think the tones are so me. It would just be perfect for if you're having a little bit of a staycation or you just need a bigger bag for traveling with. The perks of having this now is that I can still think about it for prolonged periods of time, because really and truly the full spring summer collection will be out by March, so this gives me at least a month and a half to 2 months to really think about something and not give it too much time that it will sell out by the time I know I want it. And then the next pieces are from Almada Label, because they've finally launched this collection. I actually went to go and see this collection a couple of months ago. Maybe I'll put some pictures up from that showcase that they did in London, but the base skirt and the Funda jacket I think were worn as a set by one of the founders, and I absolutely loved how it looked. It's like a straight maxi skirt. I think the only thing to note is that the models are quite tall, so on the website it doesn't look so maxi, but they pretty much are. For if you're sort of like 5'5", 5'6", it pretty much would fit as maxi. It comes in cream and it comes in black, and the jacket's really lovely. It has buttons all the way up. You can obviously wear it with a pair of jeans, loafers, ballet flats. You can style it up, you can style it down. I personally love a nice jacket. It's just one of those things that I think elevates any outfit that you're wearing. So that's already on my official wish list because I had already seen it quite a while ago. And then there's also the Colette double cape. Now the cape, when I saw it in person, it's quite similar to if you have their wool cashmere coats, you can also get the matching scarf. So I, for example, have the dark chocolate brown scarf, and you can always just wear it backwards and it acts as a cape. Again, it looks quite similar, but it has a button at the back and it forms a cape, and it comes in cream and it also comes in black. I actually would say that a cape is something that I don't really have so much of in my collection, because I don't know, I've seen so many, but I think with capes over the course of the last year or so, every time I've seen a cape that I really like, I've sort of slept on it and then it sells out, because I think capes are one of those things that it pretty much dominates an outfit in the autumn winter months, and so people really want to get their hands on a really nice one because it just sort of makes or breaks an outfit when it's the top layer of what you're wearing, and then you can still wear it in the spring season as well. So pretty much autumn, winter, spring you can wear a cape. Summer probably too warm, but pretty much for the majority of the year, give or take, you can make use of a cape. So that's quite nice and quite versatile. And that one comes in, again, cream and black, it's quite the Almada thing to do, which is to launch things in both black and cream. The Bayer pants, the Romy tops, the satin and the crepe material, you'll pretty much find it in those two colors. And then they have the pearl color, and then also they have their navy blue, their dark chocolate brown. They have another version of their taupe, which I don't think they bring out so much in. I still have a matching set. It's one of the initial colors that they brought out. They actually recently did change the logo a little bit. I think now you see a lot more Almada as opposed to Almada Label, which, I mean, I love the brand and I think it just simplifies the look a little bit. So you might have noticed that the logo sort of changed a little bit, and I'm pretty sure that they are changing it inside the actual pieces. And we have the list of things that are about to launch, things that I've been able to see, things that I know are launching February. So I'm very excited about that. This is a piece I wanted to share because it was actually supposed to launch in November, and I would have shared it with you in that vlog, and I probably would have put text on the screen. This is going to launch in November. I had quite a few of you actually messaging me on Instagram. I would just send those screenshots to the founder to let her know, you know, people are asking about this bag. So I will give you a quick update, but this is a gorgeous suede bag and it has the leather accents. This is how it looks. This probably reminds you a lot of the Róhe 90s bag because I've been getting quite a few questions. When I finally received this, I actually did post it on Instagram and a lot of you were asking me, where is it from? It looks like the Róhe, but I'm not sure. It's not the Róhe, it's from Verafied New York, and you probably would have seen this during Fashion Week. This bag means quite a bit to me because, to make a long story short, the founder decided to put this exact colorway into production simply because I loved it, and I think that just meant so much to me. And the founder has actually loved a lot of my work from before she launched her brand, so it was something that she took really strongly when I said that I really loved it, and I was genuinely telling her, no, this is it. Now, I didn't make the bag, nor did I select the colorway. I had access to the sample. The founder just wasn't really sure that she was going to launch it because it was just a sample. I was adamant that she had to launch it, even though during that Fashion Week there were so many other bags that others were paying more attention to. This bag was love at first sight. Well, actually, I had seen it before I went to Fashion Week, and I messaged the founder to say, oh my goodness, where's this from? I thought it's going to be vintage Bottega Veneta, or I didn't really think vintage the Róhe because I wouldn't say the Róhe, vintage the Róhe is really around, but I thought maybe vintage Bottega Veneta, and I think it's mostly because of this sort of like pyramid kind of design, which I think a lot of older Bottega items used a lot of, and so I thought maybe it is, and she said no, it's actually from my brand, from Verafied. And this bag was supposed to launch in November of 2025, but just to give you insight as much as I can without breaching anything, the bag was in production for a little bit longer because tweaks were being made to it. For example, I don't have it here because I've left it in my closet, but it does come with a crossbody strap that on the suede version you can loop it in here. I wish I had the strap to show you, but I've left it separate from the bag just because personally I don't think I'm going to wear it as a crossbody. But it's such a stunning bag, and it is launching officially in February alongside 2 other colorways. Now, I don't know how much I can share. I don't want to share any pictures without it officially launching. Some of the pictures that I have are oftentimes sample pictures, but it is launching in a black, which is basically like a very shiny black. I would compare it to a box leather, and then a cheetah pony hair version as well, which is stunning, and I would say it has quite a bit of that Kate vibe to it, the cheetah pony hair version, but this one in particular is my favorite because I just felt like it added some substance, and again it has that kind of vintage feel to it. This is the inside, and it has a little pocket at the back, and I just love it. You can also, it's just so nice, and it does fit my phone. I have the Pro phones, they fit really well in here, and I just love it. I love these spaghetti straps, but I figured I would share it with you in case you have your eyes on it. Another piece that is launching, which again I feel like I've gotten so many questions since I showed it during Fashion Week, the Camilla and Marc Ponza coat, which is that polka dot gorgeousness. I love it so much, and it should be with me in the next few weeks, so you'll finally be able to see it. I have no words for that one. It's one that I've been thinking about non-stop since I saw it during Paris Fashion Week, and I feel like ever since I saw it, I started to be more experimental with my style. It's definitely a piece that, had I not seen it during Fashion Week, I'm not sure I would have considered it had I seen it only online, just because sometimes things that you see online, they look nice and you like the look of, but you're not actually sure that it's going to work with what you currently wear, and in which case it will just sort of like sit there. But I was wearing an outfit that day that is pretty much more or less what I wear a lot of, and I loved that coat. So that's a piece that's launching. I know a lot of you have been asking. That's officially launching, I want to say first few weeks of February, because it is for that collection that's launching. And then the other coat, the corduroy coat that I also tried on that same day, I have a feeling that the Ponza polka dot coat is in the first spring summer drop. I don't actually know if it is spring summer though, because it's Australian brand, so I have to kind of turn it around, but essentially I think it's in the first drop that launches in February, and then the second drop, which is closer to the end of Feb, maybe March, maybe that corduroy coat will come then. Obviously during that Paris Fashion Week I also stopped by Róhe. I will put video B-rolls up on the screen as well so that you can kind of get an idea as to what's going to be launching, but they have these wonderful halter neck backless tops that are just wonderful in black, in white and this sort of tan beigey color that I really liked as well, and I cannot wait to get my hands on those. And then lastly is not, I don't think, a spring summer launch. I think it's a resort collection, if I'm not wrong. If when I'm editing this video I can get sort of like rough date, I will put it on the screen, but it's the canvas range that they are launching and I just cannot wait. This is a completely new material compared to their suede bags and their other leather bags. For the Le Cambon, it's exclusively for the 40 size, and it doesn't say Manu Atelier. And it doesn't say, does it say Manu? I have two Le Cambon 35s and both of them say Manu Atelier close to the bottom in sort of like a gold foiling, whereas these bags, they don't say Manu Atelier on the front. So very bare, very simple. It comes in sort of like this, again, tanny beige canvas with brown leather, and the black version comes with black leather. Another detail, if I remember correctly, is that the canvas beige taupe is also coming in the east-west. I can't remember if the east-west is also coming in the black canvas. I think it is, but the only distinction between the 40 and the east-west for the beigey canvas, one of them has dark chocolate brown leather accents, whereas the other one, which I think is the east-west, has black leather accents. You'll see pictures or videos up on the screen. If I've made a bit of a mistake, you'll also see a correction on the screen, but now that I'm remembering correctly, that is the distinction between the two, in case you are considering. Then the canvas is also coming in the Tote du Jour and the Tote du Jour mini, which I loved the black canvas Tote du Jour mini. I don't know why, but it completely has a hold on me. I have a video of it and I'm definitely all smiley in the video because it's a bag that I just completely fell in love with. Did not expect, but the canvas Le Cambon 40 is gorgeous and it's also perfect bag for traveling with. So actually, even though I said that I really liked the COS men's oversized bag, the weekender bag, I think it's also more or less the equivalent of getting the Manu Atelier Le Cambon 40 canvas beige, because it has the brown accents and it's kind of that similar color. That's everything for the pieces that I have my eyes on for what's coming, in case you were wondering. And then finally, and I know, sorry, I've had my notebook this whole time, it's so that I make sure that I don't forget anything, because even though you probably never realize it, there are a couple of videos where I've noticed as soon as I've pressed stop, I've taken off my microphones, everything, I've turned off my lights, and then I watch it and I go, oh my goodness, I forgot to mention this key point that I had written down, but I wasn't looking at what I wrote down. And then I just feel like you've missed a slight part of the video, even though you probably never realize. I think that's something I always have to remind myself, is no one knows if you forgot to say something, but I know. So especially for the updates, I want to definitely get them right. So first update is regarding the Liffner Dalmatian micro pillow pouch. Now you may know that that bag has been on my wish list for quite a long time now. I did get the news that it's not going to be restocked. In other words, it's being more or less discontinued, which was very sad news, but very luckily somehow I was able to get my hands on one. It's not currently with me, it's actually currently with one of my friends in Germany, because the way that I was able to get it was there was only one left from a retailer shop in Germany, and I had an option to either get it shipped to Switzerland or to Germany, but I figured it's actually easier to get it shipped because I also have friends who are based in Germany. So I got it sent to one of my friends in Hamburg and she's actually just sent me videos of it. I love it. I also love the fact that my friends get deliveries for me if it's easier. So for example, sometimes there's pieces that are more available, for example in China or in Macau, and so I can just reach out to friends that I have there and say, hey, so there's this piece and I can't get it to the UK, if you can receive it for me. And it's just so sweet because my friends end up sending me pictures or videos and they're styling it. So in this video, my friend is actually speaking in the most German accent. She's just like, this is good. It's like so nice. I just love the fact that now I'm going to receive the bag and it's already been through the hands of my friends, so that's quite nice. But I did get my hands on one of the last ones that I was able to find online from a German retailer, but they didn't ship to the UK, and that's why I had to take that route. But I now have got the videos from it for my friend. I've given it the green light, I've been able to see it, and now it's coming my way, and so I'm very happy about that. I was definitely quite disappointed that they are not going to be restocking it, because I think it's quite a nice one. It adds interest, and I think that that Dalmatian print is really doing the rounds right now. Chanel Chanel 25. There's the Dalmatian print version, which I think is wonderful, but I think personally for me, if I'm gonna get an item which is in a print that's slightly different to what I usually wear, I would rather spend what I'm spending for, say for example, the Lifner pillow pouch than to get, say for example, a Chanel 25, unless I know I'm very passionate about this print. But that's a bag that's going to be discontinued more or less, or just not restocked. So if you do see it and you want it, I would definitely recommend not holding off on it, because you probably won't be able to see it again until it comes onto the secondary market, which could take ages, it could take years, especially because it's still a newer bag. And I would say as well that the Dalmatian print is still at its height, so I don't see many people selling off their versions. So I think if you see it from a retailer either in the US or across Europe, you really want it, I'd highly recommend getting it. Obviously how it works is that when a brand launches a piece, they distribute it to all their different retailers that they work with, from Moda Operandi, Net-a-Porter, My Teresa, etc, etc. And so even if it's not available on the official Lifner website, as long as it's a trusted retailer, they might still have some available. And then once everyone runs out of stock, unless someone returns theirs, you're not going to be seeing it again until maybe in the secondary market. But if you are looking for an alternative, Manu Atelier does have on their website the Le Cambon 20 in the Dalmatian print, and also a backpack. I'm not sure the name of the model, but they have this cute little backpack in the Dalmatian print as well. The other update that I have here, which I already gave to you, is the change from November to February for the Verafied bags, but you already know that now. And then lastly, La Perla is back in business. They have a lot of incredible lingerie style pajamas, which I know I got questions in my last video to see a video on where I get all of my different pajamas, lingerie style pajamas. So I'll definitely be doing a video. But La Perla is back in business because it was actually acquired by the former CEO of Expedia Travel, which is Peter Kern, and so it's coming back in business. The rumor has it that his wife actually convinced him to buy out La Perla, which I personally think is one of the biggest flexes. The website has basically been wiped, and there's a bit where you can put your email on so that you're notified for when they are officially reopening. In case you hadn't seen that, that is happening. So I cannot wait to see what their new launches look like. They are still operating out of Bologna in Italy, which is why actually, even though there were different individuals and companies trying to buy out La Perla, they ended up going for Peter Kern because he essentially promised that he would maintain the company in Bologna in Italy. So I'm hoping that that means that the style remains the same and we get a lot of what they were doing before. So I will keep you posted as to what they launch. I definitely want to get some pieces for my own collection as well. And just like that, we've made it to the very end of this week's video. Let me know if you enjoyed it. I felt like, even though initially it wasn't going to be the video that I was planning on filming, I do think, or I hope that it was helpful in some way, especially because right now if you go into stores, there's end of season sales and this kind of intention to kind of clean out the autumn winter stock, any holiday overbuys, and I just feel like because of it, if you go in stores, you can directly see that. That doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not shopping anything from the sale, but like I said, I tend to prefer to shop sales online. You do have the option to filter by brands that you're looking for or your specific size that you're looking for, so I do find it way less overwhelming than in store, and you can oftentimes also find better deals even if you are looking to find some things in the sale online. With that being said, I do hope you enjoyed this week's video, and definitely let me know if you want to see these maybe every single month, and I'd be sure to make some. But with that being said, I do hope you enjoyed this week's video, and I hope to see you guys very, very soon in my next one.